Africa is very often overlooked by foreigners in a search of a better or cheap place to live. Perception of the continent's many economic, social, and political problems discourage foreigners from considering it as a destination to work, live, or even retire. But it's a vastly diverse continent with great natural beauty, very low cost of living, and somewhat adequate infrastructure. Most of the time, people who move to African countries are professionals transferred by multinational companies or people who work in NGOs. Aside from that, many adventurous digital nomads, remote workers, and to some extent retirees have also moved here due to the low cost of living. However, crime and safety index in some of its countries is very high. That's why we will show the crime rate of all the countries in this video. Moreover, we'll also show the Human Development Index and average monthly cost of living for all the countries mentioned in this video. So here are the 10 best countries to live in Africa. Number 10. Morocco. Morocco is a North African country bordering both the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea. It's a land of contrasts and cultural diversity with modern infrastructure but still preserving authenticity and traditions. Its landscape is a mixture of desert, beaches, and mountain ranges, making for fantastic views and warm weather. Plus, Moroccans tend to be moderately open-minded and are interested in learning about new people. The cost of living is relatively low, and property prices are incredibly reasonable, which is why most foreigners living in Morocco choose to buy a home rather than rent. On the downside, to some extent, corruption is still prevalent in the country and healthcare system is obsolete compared to European and North American countries. Furthermore, it is a fairly safe country as long as you understand and respect its laws, religious values, and cultural norms. Number 9. South Africa. South Africa has some of the most beautiful city beaches on the planet, stunning mountain ranges, lush forests, and desert skies that turn brilliant shades of amber at sunset. But there are some serious drawbacks to living in South Africa. For example, it has the highest crime rates in Africa, not just petty crimes, but violent crimes. Furthermore, in some parts of the country, power cuts are common, which is also referred as load shedding. Plus, there's a lack of reliable public services where nearly half of the adult population lives in inadequacy. But in spite of the cons, living in South Africa does have some perks. For instance, if you're earning in another currency, life here might be cheaper for you than the locals. For many digital nomads, the pros outweigh the cons and they end up staying in the country long term. Number 8. Egypt. Egypt is an incredible country with a rich history and some of the most iconic landmarks. Popular monuments like the Pyramids of Giza, the Egyptian Museum, and the Valley of the Kings are the best places to visit in Egypt when you live in the country. Although the cost of living for locals is rising in the country, foreign nationals can still live very comfortably. Foreign currencies are hugely favored in Egypt because of the favorable foreign exchanges. Housing, food, transportation, clothing, personal care are all within reach and affordable. However, when we talk about drawbacks, there are some obvious ones, such as political turmoil, horrendous traffic, constantly having to dress conservatively in some parts of the country, etc. Nevertheless, despite all the negatives, the magnificent sights of the ancient world and sunny beaches might be a good enough reason to live here. In the end, it's all up to personal preferences. Number 7. Tunisia. Tunisia is a North African country bordered by the Mediterranean Sea. It boasts lovely beaches, pleasant landscapes, fabulous archaeological sites, and several golf courses. It has modern residential neighborhoods with luxury housing at affordable costs and well below those of European cities. The average cost of living for a single individual in the country is roughly around $700. Additionally, it's considered a safe country, and Tunisian culture is considerably more progressive than its counterparts. Plus, it hosts a large number of international communities from France, Italy, and Spain, among other countries. Number 6. Ghana. Situated in West Africa, Ghana is a developing African nation steeped in various cultures and tradition that date far back in history. While neighboring and nearby countries experience political unrest, it remains relatively peaceful with a strengthening economy, democratic political system, beautiful weather, and thriving cities. Foreign residents living in compounds have the luxury of security staff as an added but not strictly necessary measure of protection. English is the official language and is spoken in business settings. This eases culture shock and language barriers for many English-speaking expats. All in all, it can be a good alternative for those moving to Africa. Number 5. Tanzania. Tanzania has become a very attractive destination for nomads and even retirees thanks to its low cost of living, investment opportunities, tax incentives, and beautiful beaches. Most of the people who move to Tanzania prefer its coastal areas or its island of Zanzibar located off the east coast. Because real estate buyers on this island are being offered a range of investor incentives and will be able to get residency without being a citizen. But bear in mind, mainland Tanzania can be a bit hectic due to severe social issues, including poverty and inequality. Nevertheless, digital nomads and retirees who are adventurous and are open-minded will find that a wealth of new experiences await them in Tanzania. Number 4. Botswana. Botswana is located at the center of southern Africa. It was one of the world's poorest countries at independence in 1966, and it rapidly became one of the world's development success stories. Moving here will present an opportunity to view some of the most extraordinary wildlife scenes and most picturesque landscapes on the continent, and to meet some of its friendliest people. But then again, like all other countries in the region, many may face a few challenges and complications along the way. But once they settled in, it's sure to be smooth sailing. Moreover, the average cost of living in this country is very low, and major cities in the country have fairly average healthcare system. Number 3. Kenya. Kenya is a country which boasts beautiful beaches, a cosmopolitan capital, and fantastic wildlife. With its rich multicultural background and tribal influences, it is full of things to do and places to see, and it's no wonder that the expat community is constantly growing and thriving with plenty of opportunities for professionals. In fact, in the last 5 years, the country has received more foreign nationals than ever. It can be an ideal destination in Africa for digital nomads, as it has state-of-the-art IT infrastructure and admirable cosmopolitan districts. Apart from good infrastructure, the country also has stylish but affordable housing options. Moreover, the country's culture is also welcoming, and it has a ton of opportunities that one can venture in. On the flip side, the crime rate is still high in certain parts of the country. Number 2. The Seychelles. The Seychelles is an archipelago country in the Indian Ocean. It consists of about 115 islands. The capital and largest city is Victoria. It is the main commercial, economic, and political hub of the Seychelles, and it also is home to approximately 1/3 of its country's population. Overall, it's ranked as the safest country in Africa, and even petty crime is non-existent. Foreigners looking for job opportunities can find leads in its tourism sector. The only downside of living in this country is the cost of living, which is very high and on par with the most expensive countries in the world. Additionally, its government is also developing the fiscal sector, aiming at becoming an offshore center to attract foreign investors. Number 1. Mauritius. Mauritius has been one of the famous countries in Africa for its unique beauty. People travel here a lot to have fun, work, live, or retire permanently, mostly because it's affordable, it's safe, and has one of the better healthcare systems in Africa. Furthermore, the government also encourages a move to Mauritius with an awesome range of visas and residence permits to suit any stage of life. There are options for students, parents, professionals, investors, and retirees. It also has easy connectivity to all major destinations around the world with numerous flights daily. So it won't be an issue for foreigners to plan a trip back home to visit family, friends, and business counterparts. On top of all this, foreigners can also buy property in Mauritius without facing any complications. You can probably get a 2-bedroom house in Mauritius for an average price of $200,000.